Hey, what's up guys, it's Dren with Boomio, and I'm going to show you a terrace-side default for dust2. So for the default, you're going to have 2 outside of long A, 1 holding middle with an op, and 2 going towards B tunnels. And the purpose of the default is to hold map control and deny any CT side aggression. So pushing B tunnels, or pushing middle, or pushing off catwalk, you want to make sure that you get those kills with those CTs that are pushing. The goal of the default is to get cat control. Once you've got cat control and used your utility to help you get cat control, you can call a strategy based off the information or based off of what's happened during your default. So if you killed someone at B, if you killed someone at A, maybe noises that you hear if you don't think they're playing long A, that kind of information and that catwalk control will decide what you're going to do off of the default. So I'll hop in game and I'll explain more.
Okay, now for the long A player here, you're obviously going to go to long A, and then one of the things you want to try to control is the double doors right here. You don't want to give this to the CT, and preferably if you can, you want to make sure that they can't get to the left of this door here, because this position behind the door can be very powerful for the CT. And you can change up your styles. You can be aggressive with how you hold it or passive. One of the more passive ways you can hold it is to play an off angle like this here, if you're going for a very passive style. Or if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you can wait out their pre-nades and pre-molly so that you don't take that extra damage, and then maybe play like an off angle like this and maybe put some pressure, flash an opper back, and then maybe take some pop shots. Most likely the CTs will be smoking you out here, and this is some of the information you'll want to relay to your team. Like, hey guys, they're playing long A. I heard a guy, for example, running across and go to pit, or I heard a pop flash at the corner, and this is stuff you'll want to tell your team because if they're playing long A, that'll tell what the CT side setup is doing. Most of the time, if a team's playing long A, they're not on catwalk, so that'll let the other 4 players on the map be able to take positions more easily based off of your information out long. And if they smoke this, obviously, like I said, you won't be able to tell if they go to the left of the door here, but don't be scared. Don't be completely quiet. I mean, you can change up your styles and be super quiet if you want to see if someone wants to flank, but then sometimes you can be like super aggressive, and even right off of spawn, you can throw some nades over long to put some pressure and make the CTs kind of on edge and possibly that you're rushing long A. So just putting that pressure and trying to read if they're playing long A is very important. And sometimes just holding the flank is very important till your team actually knows what they want to do, and then you can leave long A at that point. Okay, now we're going to talk about the top mid guy, and the top mid guy is going to control top mid and help his long A player if necessary. So if the long A player gets pushed, you're going to want to help that teammate out and just make sure he can survive. One of the flashes that you're going to want to use for this guy is you're going to want to flash anyone at Xbox or off of catwalk with a rifle or an op to make sure that your lower B guys can successfully peek into lower without getting shot. So the flash here is just going to be right like that. It's going to make sure it pops right around that window there, and that's going to be a really good flash for your lower B guys to successfully peek and make sure they're not blind off catwalk. One of the other things this guy can do is he can smoke Xbox. So if you want to change up the style of your default, instead of smoking middle double doors, you can smoke Xbox. And then your lower B guys should probably wait till that smoke blooms, and then lower B can peek freely. You could also throw that flash again to help your teammates, just in case there's a guy behind Xbox or whatnot. But your opper and T-spawn should be able to see that. One of the other options this guy has is he can run down fast pass from the start of the round if his terrorist opper is covering him, or maybe if he thinks the CT-sided team is not opping. And he could hold catwalk from right here, and if needed, he can still flash catwalk for his teammates. And what he's going to do is after his lower B guys either smoke double doors and get up Xbox, this guy's also going to come up middle here. He can just make sure that he can safely get up cat. Anyone can throw a flash to get up catwalk. And then once they're up catwalk here, usually when your in-game leader will call a strat. And that's pretty much it for the top mid guy. Okay, now we're going to talk about the T-spawn player, which is the opper. And what he's going to do here is he's going to op the double doors, and he can try to kill the people crossing either through the crack, through the door, And what he's going to do is he's going to call how many counter-terrorists, if possible, are crossing to B side, because the difference between 2 and 3 will really change your strategy. So he'll want to relay that to his team. As he sees 2 people crossing, he'll want to say that. And his other goal is to make sure no one gets into lower B. So if anyone runs out here behind Xbox, or for example, if the CTs throw a deep middle smoke and he can't see the lower B anymore, he's going to want to communicate that very clearly to his team that, hey guys, like they could be in lower B squeezing you. So that's going to be a very crucial thing you'll want to look out for if they smoke you where you can't see. And what you can do here is just op, and when you feel comfortable, you can jump down and start working your way to opping catwalk here. You can hold green box for a little bit, and you can successfully escort your team up catwalk. So the opper can walk up catwalk here and be kind of one of the leading forces in completing your default and getting that cat control. So this is another variation of the default. So instead of actually smoking Xbox or double doors, you could actually just have your opper cover you, and everyone can successfully get up catwalk without even burning a smoke. So what the opper can do here is, after holding middle control, walk up catwalk and finish the default there for the opper. All right, now we're going to be talking about the lower B player. And the lower B player is going to just successfully, at the start of the round, hold upper B with the upper B player. So once the upper B player gets content, no one pushes, he can make his way into lower B. And one of the things he's going to want to do is communicate for that flashbang from the top mid player that we talked about. And he's going to be, once the teammate flashes above lower B here, he'll be able to successfully swing out without getting killed. Make sure no one ninja'd behind that box. And he's going to come middle here. And this is where you have a couple different options depending on how your default is being run. This guy can either smoke double doors, or if Xbox was smoked, he doesn't have to, but he'll most likely smoke double doors and maybe just flash over middle once, and he's going to want to get up on Xbox and get up on catwalk here. And once he's successfully up catwalk, one of the other players can flash for them to peek catwalk. And you could either have your upper B guy flash for you, or the opper that was helping you take mid control. He's going to be opping double doors. He can quickly just flash for the other 2 players that are going to be completing the default by getting cat control. So this lower B guy will be coming Xbox, and he can even ask for another flash that we just talked about. It gets flashed, and then you gain cat control. And that's pretty much it for the lower B guy. You can obviously change how you take cat control. You can ask for, you don't always have to ask for one flash. You can throw a nade, throw any kind of different smoke, jiggle peek, bait out nades. You just want to make sure that you can get cat as safely as possible, realistically. Okay, now for the upper B guy here. He's going to have a bit of a boring job, so we're going to show a bunch of different spots for him to play from and to keep it fresh in case the CTs are pushing him. One of the spots you can check out here is this kind of an off angle here where you can see through the crack, and just basically at the start of the round he can just chill here and make sure no one's pushing him. Another really good spot, if you can get to it, maybe the CT smoke this, or you had a really good T spawn, you can run across very quickly and hold this angle here. This angle here is very good for catching CTs off guard. If someone pushes, you should have a very good chance of killing him. Another like off angle spot here is on top of the box. It's kind of a weird spot because you're up higher in the air and you're kind of at a weird angle for someone, so you'll catch them off guard as well. And a very common spot here is on the steps. And you don't want to be a static target here by just sitting, because you want to be a hard target and it's kind of moving like this and keep moving, and just make sure they're not pushing you from right here. And another benefit of being on this spot here is you can quickly help your teammates at middle. One more rule here at upper B is to be counting smoke grenades, or just seeing if the CTs are even smoking this choke point. If they're not smoking this choke point, it's either they don't have the money to smoke it, or they have an op in the back of sight. So that's very important to relay to your in-game leader. Another thing you're going to want to do is count the smoke grenades they're throwing. So for example, if they threw 2 smoke grenades at upper, that means late in the round they won't have any more smokes to throw. And that's one of the things that you'll say to your in-game leader, like, hey, they used both smokes, we could go upper B late safely. And it's a lot easier to entry into upper B when you're not running through a smoke, right? So that's very crucial to tell your team. Also, this smoke grenade right here is really good to put pressure at any time in the round, early in the round, middle of the round, late in the round. it'll keep the B players honest, and it'll milk a lot of the CT's resources because they'll be very afraid that you're actually working into B. One more thing you're going to do as well is come here lower B. You can help your teammates get catwalk control on their default by throwing this flash here. And after you get your teammates up cat control safely, this guy has a lot of options in terms of flanking or going with his team. So those are the two options really, but you can be very creative with it. You can watch the flank from here. You can backstab very lately if your teams are going A. You can watch from X box here to see if anyone pushes B, anyone pushes middle. Basically, you're covering your team's ass and then possibly flanking from a different position. Or if you want to, you can group up with your team and just hit together and trade kill more efficiently. But that concludes all of the players and roles for T-Side Dust2, guys.